Being spiritual without the superstition. That's one of the key ideas explored in Sam Harris's Waking Up. Let's check it out. How you going, guys? Welcome back to Walk It Off. I'm Nathan, and today I'd like to talk about Waking Up by Sam Harris. Okay, so let's explore what this one's all about. Sam Harris is a neuroscientist who studies the effects of meditation on the human mind. And he's someone that I've followed for a very long time. I mean, I got into his writings as a teenager. At its core, this book is essentially asking, is there anything good that can come out of the world's religions and organised religion? And is it possible that we can move forward as a species by taking its best bits and then leaving all of the superstitious woo and the bigotry and the license to hate and kill? Can we just leave that on the wayside and just take the good bits of it and move forward? I can clearly see that especially the community aspect is good for people, and there is something in that I think that a lot of us atheists kind of miss out on, because there isn't a lot of communities for us. This book examines things like faith, which can very easily be defined as pretending to know things you don't know. I think one of the really good things that he loves to say, and I completely agree with him, is that to critique the tenets of Islam is not attacking Muslim people, which it often gets conflated as, and it's not. And essentially what he's asking is, are there teachings in these holy books that leave people open to some really shitty behavior? It becomes like it gets to be a justification for really bad things to be done. I think there's a really good quote in it as where it's you can get a good man to do good things quite easily, but to get a good man to do bad things you need religion. But it's not done as an attack. Sam is genuine in his pursuit of these questions in this book, and it's never really done from a place of malice. Yeah, it becomes one of those situations where people don't hear I'm critiquing some of the bad ideas. They just hear, well, you think I'm stupid for believing in God. Yeah, I had the revelation recently in that not only do people take these religious beliefs and they kind of marry their identity to it, but it's this bizarre thing where I genuinely don't even think even half the people that call themselves religious have even ever read their holy books. It sounds like a really, really bizarre thing, but a lot of people in their culture are kind of force-fed from a very early age what to think through these things. So if your parents only ever said, if you don't believe in God, you're a bad person, like, of course that's going to grow up and have some really large ramifications on your personality as an adult. Okay, at its core, this is an exploration of whether science can say anything about the well-being of people, right? Can we take the good parts of religion, like the propensity towards moral teachings and in thinking about morals, the community parts, and can we move forward to a better future without all of the woo that comes along with it? So yeah, as I said, Sam is constantly having it out, or he used to be anyway, with a lot of these kind of new age people, and they're not worth your time. At the end of the day, it's nothing more than hot air, really. So some of the time Sam's writing can almost come off as a little bit detached, and his voice can get a little bit monotone. I do most of my reading through Audible, And I do always like it much better when a author reads their own material. Some of the reading talent that you hear on a lot of these audiobooks, I don't know, they don't read it right, or they've never encountered words before, so they've completely mispronounced them, which I always find hilarious. But Sam reads his own material for the most part, and it's really, really well read. But he does have a bit of a monotone voice, so that could put you to sleep. But if that's what you're after, get stuck into it. But yeah, definitely worth checking this one out. I very, very highly recommend all of Sam's material. There's a really, really funny sequence in here where Sam describes in his younger years, like in his early 20s, an experience he had whilst on LSD. And yeah, I won't spoil it for you, but it is absolutely hilarious. That's one thing that I find Sam's work is kind of funny. It's very heady intellectual stuff, but it doesn't skimp on being funny. And I think that Sam's got a quirky... it's a kind of humor that can almost come off as robotic, but then when you think about it in retrospect, it's really fun. It's one of those, some of those things that the more you simmer on it, the funnier it gets. And that's what I really, really appreciate in Sam's writing. But also in the fact that he doesn't shy away from talking about taboo topics and really complex ideas that we need to get to the heart of to move forward as a society. Sam tries to get away from the neuroscience jargon, the industry speak that puts a lot of the public away from science. I mean, this is something that Carl Sagan is extraordinarily good at, who's breaking really complicated ideas down into a few key sentences so the layperson can understand it. That's one of Sam Harris's really good points, is that he's good at breaking down these complicated and almost incendiary topics, these taboo topics that would cause the row over the Christmas dinner table, and he breaks them down into a really easy and digestible and just pleasant way to think about them. So what I don't like about this book, yeah, like I said, it almost can, in a couple of chapters, almost come off as an advert for find God through drugs, and I don't think that that's Sam's intention at all. But it would be easy, how can I put it? If someone was looking to attack him, that would be an easy vector for people to attack him through, I believe. But most of his writing is ridiculously well thought out. When he does go off on tangents, they generally turn out to be at least kind of related to the overall topic of what he's talking about. Alrighty guys, it's time to wrap this one up. So I want to know, have you read Sam Harris's Waking Up? If you have, let's discuss it in the comments below. I'd really like to hear what you think about it. And if you haven't read this one, I cannot recommend it enough. You might not agree with Sam in terms of being an atheist or a theist. That is not a decision that is for anybody else but for you to make, and for you to make in here. Ultimately, I will never hold it against anybody, but I just think that there is a lot of silly stuff in these books, in the religious text, but there is also some golden nuggets of truth. I mean, the golden rule, the ubiquitous human social construct from around the world that seems to be present in every single culture. Do unto others what you'd like done unto yourself. So treat people as though you'd like to be treated. And I think that's something that the internet could use a lot more of. Let's not viciously attack each other. We can move forward and critique each other's ideas with the best of intentions, and this book is a great start at that. As usual guys, I'm Nathan. This has been Walk It Off. Now, if you've got any other book recommendations for me that you'd like me to do a review of, send them my way. I really appreciate it. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, go outside.